Page 15, Tambourin. Very old piece. It's a nice little arrangement of it. Let's see what we hit. I look it over. It's 4 lines of music long. It's actually longer than that, but it's 4 lines of music to learn. Clef signs are treble and bass clef. The 1 sharp in the key signature. We're still studying the key of E minor, so this is going to be an E minor. Make sure you're doing the scales for both, though. G major and E minor both. And go ahead and do the arpeggio, too. At least 1 octave up and down on it. And common time or 4/4 time. But the first measure you'll notice with 4/8 notes, that's only 2 counts. So we're coming in on a pickup measure. So the first 2 counts, if you look there at the bottom, actually this is in 2 sections. You look at the end of the second line, you see the double bars? That's the symbol for a section. That it separates sections. So we're leaving 1 section and going into another. So the first 2 lines is a section, and at the end of the second line you'll see 2 counts. So that takes care of it. And then in the last 2 lines, it starts with a pickup measure, but it ends with 2 counts, so we're still okay. Take it 1 hand at a time. I want to try and finger everything connected if I can. You're starting here. They don't give you a finger number. I'm going to just tell you to start on 1. Start here. 3 and 4 and. 3 and 4 and 1. Then you come. No. I'm sure they have reasons for doing that. I have no idea what they would be. This articulation lets you get away with it. But I just consider that a poor fingering. I don't want 5th finger here because I got to come up here. So I'll just do it. I do 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3. Now I can do it. I see nothing wrong with that. 1, 2, 3. Scrunch up. Actually, you can do 3 here. There's nothing wrong with using a little finger on a black key because I got to come down for the next one with the E. And your hand isn't big enough, you got to come down, you got to lift up. But you don't have to go as far. So use little finger. So again, the last 2 measures of the first line is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. I'm just scrunch up. Then reach down. Do it again. Same fingering. And then scrunch up. And third line, 3rd finger's fine if you want. Last line, you're here. See, when I get this kind of a pattern, I always use 4th finger. Because when 4th and 5th fingers are involved, the notes are, there's only 1 note in between. I would use 4th and 5th rather than 3, unless there's some other thing going on. I can't. Just out of habit, I would do that. They show you at the end of the 3rd line, 5, 4. That's how I would finger that. That's fine. I like that fingering. Left hand, you have the chords. That wiggly line, I'll come back to that later. Right now it's just a chord. If you're not sure what the chord is, spell it out. Take it 1 note at a time and figure it out. It's an E at the bottom, and a B, and an E. Here. 2, and then 1 2nd finger again. That's rather awkward. So what I'm going to recommend is use thumb on that. You can, because you're not playing anything else, you can come up here and then come back out. But these other fingers can kind of stay where they go. And if you have a small hands, you got to use a thumb for the 2nd line. If you got big enough hands, you can do that, but that's quite a stretch. So use a thumb for both. I don't know why he wants that sound, but he did. And again. The 2nd line, the E, B, and G, unless you have large hands, you can't reach that. So right now, play the first one and the other 2, like that. I'll come back to it and explain the wiggly line. That'll take care of it. Right now, just do that if you can. Use 3rd finger if you need to. And then 3rd line's the same. The 4th line, the last measure again. Hold these down as you do that. put the hands together. Now I'm going to hesitate, I don't care. I just want here. Sound this early in the morning. I need coffee, please. Coffee, please. So I'm going to go through and put the hands together. Then I'm going to go back through it slowly and carefully and get rid of the hesitations. If you're really struggling with it, then break it up. Since the first 2 lines is a section and the second 2 lines is a section, just focus on one section at a time and get it learned. So do the first 2 lines. Forget the last 2. Just do the first 2. Get them where you can play it with no hesitations. And once you can do that, then put them aside. Don't play it anymore. Go down and do the second 2 lines and just focus on those. Then you can go put it all together. And once I have all the hesitations worked out, then I'll think about the articulation. Here, hinging at the wrist on these. And connect these. These 8th, just connect them. Yeah, okay, so I put in the articulation. Now these chords with the wiggly lines. Rolled chords. It's played very quickly, one note after the other. It's not rhythmic, it's just boom. Although in some cases it is rhythmic. Right now it's just boom, real quick. Hold them down. If you can. If you can't reach them, then hold down what you can reach and let the others go. Like at the end of the second line here, you might have to here. How do you do it? Hopefully you can hold the last 2 notes down and let the first one. But if you can, you hold them all down. It's just a quick note. Now, people don't agree on this either. Big surprise, they don't agree on anything. A lot of people, when they play these rolled chords, they will play the top note on the beat. So in the second line, the 8th notes. So those are together. At the end of the line, they would play the top note on the beat. In college, I was required to always play the bottom note on the beat, unless it was at the beginning of the piece. Then it could be treated like a pickup. But otherwise, I play the bottom note on the beat. Those together. That's so. And that's how I play them. You do it however your teacher tells you to do it. I don't. And dynamics, F at the beginning, this is going to be for the right hand. Loud, forte. The third line, you come down a little bit to mezzo forte, sort of loud. Toward the end, the last line, last couple of measures, you're going to go back up. No, they've messed up something, or something's a little weird here. You're starting the third line mezzo forte. They don't give you another dynamic until the crescendo bar, and they tell you to go up to mezzo forte. There's a couple ways of interpreting that. We have to be careful. What is the music? You experiment. Do I start the crescendo at mezzo forte and go up to loud? And then suddenly drop down. Here, that's one way of doing it. Or do I come down and crescendo back up to mezzo forte? Like I was. If I come down, where do I come down? Is it right before the arrow? Or does the music make sense maybe to come down somewhere else? Well, look at, starting at the end of the third line, we have this going on, this repeated thing. It would be nice not to play all of those the same. Change them somehow. We could change the dynamics. Keep in mind that back when this was written, and this composer lived, they didn't put in dynamics and things, articulation, all that. They didn't put that in the music. It was up to the performer to interpret the music properly. It was in the 1700s, during it, where they gradually started putting in the more information. So on these, I'm going to kind of come down on these, each one. I'm moderately loud, come down a little bit. Now I'm going to come back up. That's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to put in a long diminuendo there with each one of these going to get a little softer. Then I go back up. I don't like the dynamics they've given, but that's what they've given, so that's what we'll work with. You don't have to do it that way. You decide, or your teacher will decide how the dynamics need to be done here. Then the speed, allegretto. Allegretto is between moderato and allegro. I call it the fun speed. But these eighth notes need to be accurate, so you got to have those under control. Moderato might be a allegro would be a allegretto somewhere in the middle. It's not an exact speed. It's how do you feel it? Now look at the bottom of the page. You see above the staff it has DC al fine in the last line. DC, remember, means go back to the beginning. Al fine means go to fine. If you look, the fine is at the end of the second line. In my opinion, those double bars at the end of the second line should be a thin and thick bar line, because that's the symbol for end of a piece. You can take a pencil and widen out the second bar line, make it a thick one. So it's really 6 lines long. You're going to play all 4 lines, then go back and do the first 2 lines again. Let's play this together very slowly and check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to do any louds and softs. I'll do the staccatos, and I'll do the rolled chords. So I'll give us 4 counts. Or actually, I'm going to give us 2 counts because we come in on beat 3. I'm going to go ready and go and then we go. Ready and go and.